Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things. Ready to get started?
Oh yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to this mini-sode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Part 2. Welcome back to the show for a long time and quite a while. R64 Bear.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm hoping that everyone's talking to their computer screen right now, Bobby.
Hell yeah.
Leave a comment saying how it's going. Actually, don't do that, because, no one comments anyway, and I don't want to break the cycle. So no, Bobby hasn't been on the show in a while because he's been working third shift, and unfortunately because of that, we're probably not going to be able to do the live Flash commentary, or not commentaries, but live Flash show reactions after the show, unfortunately.
Depends though. If it does come on at 8 o'clock like Arrow, I have an opportunity to film along as we keep them under 30 minutes, we have a chance.
Okay, so maybe we'll see if that can work out or not. But anyway, so today we're going to be talking about the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe film, The Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. So, here we go again. I enjoyed this movie. It has a lot of problems. I'm going to point them out simply because no one else seems to have the balls to point out problems with Marvel movies. Everyone's just like, all the fan community is just like, oh, the Marvel movies are perfect. I'm like, they're fun. They're not perfect, but they're fun.
But it's the complete opposite problem for TV shows. It seems like DC, everyone's kissing their ass, but when like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all you hear is about complaints with that.
Yeah, it's weird.
And actually, I just started watching that show, and I'm not seeing giant complaints with the show. It's just another TV show, but...
Mm-hmm. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into Guardians here. Let's start off on a positive note, but advanced warning. If you love this movie and cannot take any criticism whatsoever of it, stop watching now. See, I like to say that because no one stops watching at that point.
Has that ever worked, I wonder?
I highly doubt it. Anyway, so let's start out with something positive. Bobby, what is one thing that you absolutely loved about this movie?
Okay. The thing about this movie is, it's kind of unoriginal, but it kind of works to a degree. It's kind of like Star Wars meets Indiana Jones meets Avengers. Mm-hmm. And the thing I think this movie does a lot better than Avengers, well, not so much better, but with Avengers, you had other movies building that up. Mm-hmm. You had other screen time with other characters, and you kind of knew who these guys were. With Guardians, they have a team ensemble cast, and I think it comes together pretty well, except for one character. But I think that was one thing I just found really amazing, how well they all have a span over 2 hours. They're able to mash this up and actually works pretty good as a team.
Okay, so you like the team building. For me, the thing I absolutely adored was just the level of action in it. I love me some space action, and there's a lot of that in here. The fight scene, the dog fight in the sky above with the Nova Corps and all that, that was really cool. Nova Corps has the worst defensive weapon of all time, but I'll get into that. It is a terrible weapon, or defense, whatever you want to call it. Take out the middle and the whole thing collapses. Oh, that's awful!
It's kind of weird that Marvel, their universe, it seems like humans have the best defense. We have the Avengers. Everything is destroyed, but we're kind of happy about it. With, Thor 2, was the Asgards, they're in, what was it, the building they had was that force field. Didn't last too long, did it? Just the Guardians, their space force field.
Yeah. No, but I really, really loved all the dog fights and, just the character, brawls and stuff. That was all really cool. Groot was hilarious.
Yes.
And like, you really felt for him, and everything they did with Groot visually was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that part of it.
Well, with the action, I think I loved what this movie was the way they were able to throw the comedy into the action.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like James Gunn, I think it's his name, the director. He also directed Slither, which was a horror comedy.
Yeah.
And I love genres where they mash up comedy and have another genre, and they can still keep the heart of the actual other horror comedy. Like, I love it when they keep horror still the basis of the storyline.
Yeah.
But add that comedy element to it. And this one did a great job with action with it, by keeping that comedy in there.
Yeah, I mean, the comedy is, like, I was laughing my ass off over and over again in this film. Every scene with Groot, where he's doing something hilarious, I was laughing. When he starts eating that leaf on his shoulder, that was hysterical. When he's drinking out of the fountain, that was hysterical.
When they're coming up with the plan, and he just stands up and grabs the thing off the ceiling.
Right? Like, it's just great. It's really funny stuff. So those are things like I love. I love the action. I love the visuals with Groot, and yeah, the character development and the team building I thought was pretty good too. Thanos' cameo was really cool. I was really glad to see Thanos. I'm a little disappointed that, like, Marvel's getting Thanos in before DC's even anywhere close to getting Darkseid in, because now it's just like, oh, well, if they ever use Darkseid, then no, it's just a ripoff of Thanos. I'm like, it's the other way around! Right? Anyway, no, but so I'm really, really impressed with a lot of the stuff that they were able to get into this movie. And overall, let me say this before I really start getting into it. On the whole, this is a good movie. I enjoyed it. You should go see it.
Now, question. Did you have any knowledge at all about Guardians?
No. I knew that there was a talking raccoon.
Now, how refreshing was that as someone who reads comics to know nothing about the movie going into it?
That is nice. I knew Thanos. I knew who Thanos was. I knew what the Infinity Gems are to a certain extent. But even this is doing its own thing with the Infinity Gems. And Thanos is in the movie for, like, this. This is the problem with doing videos with people that I'm actually sitting next to, as opposed to talking on Skype, because I wouldn't do this. As Thanos is in the movie for the length of time between my thumb and my pointer finger, everyone. So, that's a problem.
It's definitely very Emperor from, like, episode 5.
Yeah, I've heard that, too, and I agree with that to one extent or another. But I don't know, there's something much more intimidating about him, because you're told that he's genocidal. There's this, like, whole thing going on about Thanos, and, like, with his quote-unquote daughters, who are very much like Darkseid's Furies, where, oh, no, they're not really his daughters. You can tell by looking at them. They're not related at all. But they're just like, he kidnapped me as a child and tortured me until I did his bidding. See, that doesn't... Why wouldn't you just run away? At the very beginning, does he have, like, UPS, which is like Global Universal Positioning Satellites? I
think in some ways, too, like, Thanos is kind of problematic for this movie. Because, like, the villain of the film, it kind of takes away from, like, how scary, how you kind of feel like this is the second-rate villain compared to Thanos, so having him directly interact with Thanos, it just kind of feels like, well, this guy's not going to make it past this movie.
But it does make it, like, so much cooler when he does, like, when he turns on Thanos, that does make him intimidating.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I think
especially to someone like me who knows who Thanos is but doesn't know who the hell he is.
Someone that has the balls to do this, like, I'm moving after you, and Thanos is like, I'm gonna take a coffee break.
Like, I was honestly, you know me, I like to try to call a movie as I'm watching it, and I was doing that with this, and this is a good movie in that I couldn't do it. Like, when the ship crashes, at first I was like, really? So they shoot him point blank, and the guy doesn't die, but crashing a ship into him kills him? That's stupid. And then he gets up, like, okay, cool.
All right.
I'm cool with that. And then he's, like, he's giving his big speech, I'm like, okay, Thanos is gonna show up and take the damn stone from him. And that doesn't happen, and I'm really glad about that.
I definitely say this is probably the most intimidating villain Marvel's had so far. Just, like, from the voice and the way that he, kind of behave.
He's still a little too flat for me.
Like, he's not like I don't think he can carry like himself like maybe a Loki or a Red Skull can, but just the eeriness that you get from this guy. It's kind of like a space Hitler.
Space Hitler. All hail Space Hitler. Sorry, I gotta get that in my head and move past it now. I don't know. The villain, he's hit and miss with me. I think the best thing I can say about him is he became significantly more intimidating once he turned on Thanos. But, that's sort of the very end of the movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, when Batista was fighting him, I'm like, this is really lame because it looks so effortless. And I get that that's supposed to be intimidating, but all we've seen Batista do is get beat up. By Groot. That's all he's done. He walked into that prison room, and the really skinny guys who were using knives were afraid of him. That's it! Otherwise, the dude's just I'm gonna beat up Groot because, it's all we do is see him get beat up, and so that's supposed to make the villain more intimidating. But I'm like, no, because we haven't seen him do anything impressive.
At that point, definitely. Yeah. The very end we finally get it, but at that point... That was the first actual fight he got to be in, besides the prison fight. And that's a whole bunch of low life scum. So
yeah, it doesn't work as well. All right, so I'm trying to think where to start. I guess my biggest complaint is not just of this movie, so that might be a little unfair to the movie in and of itself, but this kind of becoming the Marvel universe as a whole at this point. I'm getting fucking sick and tired of this goddamn let's find the artifact plot.
At this point, yeah.
Because that's 3 movies now that it's been in. Mm-hmm. Avengers, Thor 2, and now this. That's just a little much. And I get, you have to establish the Infinity Gems for them to be important in, I guess, Avengers 3.
Avengers 3? How long ago, how far away is that?
Yeah, but, you need to find another way to do it besides, let's find this artifact. Mm-hmm. You need to... Show someone fucking use one! Instead of let's get this artifact away from this guy or something. We see, what's his name? Malachi in, Thor the Dark World. He wants to use it to destroy the planets or galaxy or destroy light, that's it. And that's really interesting. But he doesn't do it. And then in this, he wants to use the purple gem to destroy a planet. And that's really interesting, but all we ever really see it do is rip up a pink girl. And that's... side note, how stupid's the fucking Collector? Oh, here's the slave. Let me explain about what this super powerful thing does, and then just walk away while she's right there.
I would say, that's probably one of the most painful moments of watching the movie. I'm like, is that really gonna happen? Because, oh, wow. Especially after, I don't know. I just thought it was Why is she not being supervised right now?
Really?
The slave!
That bothers shit out of me. And just that, how many more Infinity Gems we got? We got the Tesseract, the Ether, this thing. So we got, 2 more. You gotta do something else besides we've gotta get this artifact away from this bad guy. You have to do so. Even Captain America, to a certain extent, is the quest for the object, even though that's secondary to the overall plot of defeating Hydra. So you gotta do something else. At least that's slightly better than this find the artifact plot. That's just driving me crazy. I'm like, it's fine to do that, but you can't have it in every single one of your movies now.
Now, since we're also talking about something they kind of keep on repeating plot-wise, Groot died. Spoilers, by the way. If you're at this point, Groot dies, quote unquote,
and then he's just back.
That's happened how many Marvel movies now? That's happened with Bucky. That's happened with Nick Fury. It's happened with Loki. That's happened. I think Iron Man 3 is the only one I can think of in the last 5 movies they actually used that in that movie. Who's it in any of their movies?
Yeah, and I wouldn't have a problem with them bringing Groot back, so much as I have a problem with it's just he's there.
Yeah.
It's this whole big thing about how he's going to die to save everyone, and that's really great stuff. But then Rocket's just got a plant in the scene before they board the ship. He's just got a little pot with a little stick in it, and I'm like, they don't establish how that's happening at all. And I'm like, it's got to be a deleted scene, right? There's no other way.
Maybe it's just timing. I don't know.
I'll be nice and say that it's probably a deleted scene that we didn't get to see.
Could be.
But even then, yeah, it's still a problem that they keep killing a character and then bringing them back.
Every like they did with Tony Stark in the Avengers. They did it with...
Well, I mean, he wasn't dead.
That wasn't
for long.
like no one was expecting him to be like, oh, he died in the first Avengers movie.
Yeah. So no, like I wouldn't count that one, but yeah, they've been doing that a lot lately, and that's bothering the hell out of me.
At least you gotta give credit. Like Marvel kills someone, or not Marvel, but DC though. When they kill them, they keep them dead pretty good in the movies because usually they haven't had a movie that's gone longer than 3. So.
I mean, I
And that's
guess
not really
Batman.
Oh well. No, it's cool though. You know why, right?
Because he's Batman.
Exactly.
Like I thought they were gonna do that with Ra's and Rises, but they ended up doing something I liked more. Okay, so where do we go from here?
Do you want to talk about each member of the Guardians? What do you thought? Some of their good sides, good points, and bad points?
Sure. Where do you want to start?
I guess we'll start with the leader, Peter Quill.
Star-Lord. Okay. Really cheesy how he gets his name. Do not like how he gets his, Star-Lord thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like that he just made it up better than I like, his mom wrote it in a letter and it makes no sense.
Yeah, I was kind of confused. I'm like, wait, did she always call him that, or was that the first time she called him Star-Lord in the letter?
I don't know. I thought that was...
guess?
Like, that's the first time he read the letter, and that's just what she happened to call him. That'd be really weird. That'd be even stranger.
Right?
No, but I didn't like that whole thing once we got where it came from, but I liked, I'm Star-Lord. It's like, that kind of like, oh, you haven't heard of me thing? I like that side of it. Or, you haven't heard of the Millennium Falcon? It's that kind of thing, and that's what I really liked about it.
I definitely love how he's like a child of the 80s, how that's something that could have easily gotten really old real fast with throwing the 80s pop culture references. Mm-hmm. I thought they did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, I think so too. They really did end up making that work better than it seemed like it would have.
Especially with like the use of his mixtape.
Oh yeah, I love the music in this is something I will not complain about at all because that was too much fun.
Oh yeah.
From the opening, like not opening scene, but his first scene as an adult, it was just on it, man.
I saw this in 3D IMAX.
Same here.
And I'm glad I did. It's probably one of the best 3D experiences I ever saw.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Especially that opening sequence where he's just dancing in the tomb.
And he kicks those, like, reptile rat things.
Right, and just, like, grabs one, singing, he's like, yeah!
Okay, actually, alright. Back to more problems, I suppose. Because this hasn't been negative enough yet. So he goes to get the Orby thing.
Yes.
And then Ronan's guys just show up. Like, in the trailers, you get the sense that they're like police or something, right?
Yeah.
So that would make sense. But that's totally a contrivance. They're just there at the same time that he's there. There's no other relation whatsoever besides they're both looking for the object at the same time. Mm-hmm. He's trying to give it to the broker character, but the broker obviously isn't going to sell it to Ronan. Maybe he's also working for Thanos? But Thanos, dude! Why would you have sent 2 different people to do the same job?
Right. Well, I think the collector was looking for it too, so...
I guess. Yeah, that makes more sense then. But still, it's like, really...
Just the timing of that's like...
At the same time they both get there? Really?
It's definitely... This movie doesn't... Like, I love this movie, but, it does run off a lot of, timing of the right, I know the word...
Coincidental timing?
Yes.
Yeah, I sound so negative about this, but I just feel like I have to be, because otherwise everyone's going to say it's perfect, and it's not.
That plus, any other review you go to, they're going to be kissing this ass, because this was a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really fun movie, and I really did enjoy myself. But I can't, not mention problems with it that I, thought of in the theater while I was watching it, just this first time. I'm sure there are more problems. Doesn't change the fact that it's a good, enjoyable movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the best thing I can say about it. It is good. It is fun.
One side note for Chris Pratt, who played Peter Quill.
Uh-huh.
He gained a lot of fucking muscle for this fucking role.
Which is weird, because I don't think he needs it.
He really doesn't in this role, but just for, one scene, and it was like you didn't really need it.
Yeah,
But,
like where he gets painted orange.
But this guy was like bigger than me, so like like it's for people who are kind of big. It's good motivation for like to watch. It's like hell yeah, I can get that rip right. You know, if I get a trainer and spend that much money, but no, sure I can do it.
Yeah, like it's weird. I don't know why he had to be ripped. I guess it was just to fit that like comic book persona, because he's not like doing the skin tight suit or anything.
Yeah,
he's got a flight suit at one point, but there's no muscle definition under that. It's really strange. It's totally unnecessary,
Yeah.
but whatever.
I mean, like he is a womanizer, but which I didn't know. It's one of those things like I shouldn't like that so much because it's overused so much with like the Han Solo type of character. But
yeah,
I still enjoy it. I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially like was like that first scene with where he's being chased away and he gets in his ship and he wrecks the
pink
ship.
girl.
The pink girl, and he's like, to be completely honest, I had no idea. I completely forgot that you were even here.
Yeah.
So.
I guess one thing with it for me is, so are aliens just different colored people?
I noticed that there was a lot of different colored people, and
like they'd have slightly different eyes occasionally.
Yeah.
And like maybe some stuff on their face, but they really were just like Groot is the only real exception. Groot and Thanos are like, everyone else is just a dude.
Or Rocket too, yeah.
Well, but Rocket's an experiment, so he doesn't count.
True. He's yeah.
So, like all the aliens in this are just blue or pink or green.
Maybe they're
people.
just the extent from actual humans, like kind of like Doctor Who kind of ish.
Yeah.
Explains why they would speak English, which is kind of weird. I don't have a complaint for that. It's just the fact that they've had other movies where there was actual alien languages. This one had, like, I believe, like 0 alien languages. Or language.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, there's the broker guy. He has, like, stuff on his face. I guess you said after the credits, right? The full...
Yeah, yeah,
for both
oh
scenes?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so, I mean, I guess Howard the Duck, which is a ballsy fucking move. I'll give him that much. That's a ballsy-ass move to put Howard the Duck in your movie.
I'm pretty sure like there was a good portion of people who have no idea who Howard the Duck is. And now they're like, who is Howard the Duck? There's like a movie about this? I'm going to watch this!
Why would you do that to yourself? Like, that's a ballsy-ass move, I suppose, but whatever.
It's
I mean, I
James
laughed.
Gunn thing. He was a big fan of the actual Howard the Duck comic series, so... That plus, for those who didn't know, the creator of the original Guardians of the Galaxy actually created Howard the Duck.
Oh, that's funny.
So that was one of the reasons I think it was good, shout out to the original creator.
Okay.
But yeah, Peter Quill, I loved his sense of humor. I really don't have too many actual complaints about it, though.
No, his character in and of itself, sorry, I had to get up for a second. His character in and of itself, fine. I really liked him. He's good.
And like I was saying before, he's a womanizer, and I love how that plays off with Gamora.
Yeah.
But he tries doing those moves tries doing his sweet moves with her, and it does not work at all. Cause she's a savage warrior.
Oh, right. Okay. And then Rocket. I mean, I was really surprised I liked Rocket as much as I did, because I was sure I was going to not like Rocket on the simple premise alone that it ended up not being David Tennant. Because for a while it was rumored that David Tennant would be Rocket Raccoon. I'm like, okay, now I want to see this movie. And then, like, he wasn't, and I was, like, disappointed, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed Rocket in the end.
Yeah, like, Bradley Cooper did an amazing job, I thought. Like, I don't think anyone who sees this movie is going to be like... I don't think anyone's going to complain about Rocket at all.
No, not at all. Rocket was fantastic.
And he even had that scene where he's getting drunk, he's, like, yelling at Drax. He's like, he called me, like, a freak or something like that, and he's like, gets his gun out, and just like, I'm going to blow all of you away! And then they finally come down, and he's like, alright, but I can't promise I'm going to kill all of you motherfuckers after this is over. Like, his comedy was awesome. Like when he's taking away putting together a bomb in Star-Lord's ship. It's like, you building a bomb? Yeah, but it's okay. I was gonna put it in a box. Like, that's gonna help.
Yeah, I like how much of a super genius Rocket is, and like the prison escape was brilliant.
Especially and step number 2, grab that guy's leg.
Like, I guess there's some interesting character stuff in how you see each of them approaching their task that Rocket gives them.
Yes.
Because, Groot just, like, so fucking direct, just no subtlety whatsoever. And then, what's her name?
Gamora.
Gamora, She goes and she fights for hers. And then you just see Star Wars, and he's like, "You want my leg?" Yes. And it's so like, I guess there is a lot of his character that he's just so a nice enough guy to actually go ask first. And he paid for it and everything. That's great.
Like especially at the very end too, like Rocket's like, "We also need that guy's eye." Peter's like, "No, we do not."
No, I totally need it.
Come on, we don't. Come on, no, we do. It's awesome.
that was good. I'm trying to think what else. Okay, Groot, fantastic. Nothing else left to say.
Yeah, it's he is Groot.
I am Groot. One thing I guess I didn't like about Rocket and Groot is it makes no sense how Rocket's able to translate for Groot.
Yeah.
Chewie and Han makes sense, because clearly there's distinction within that.
Tones.
But he's saying the same 3 words. Rocket, in fact, comments on the fact that the dude is saying the same 3 words. It's
very sci-fi-ish, which I love about it. It makes no sense, but let's just go with it,
Like, I almost feel like Rocket's just attributing value to what... Rocket's just attributed as, what? Alright, I'm supposed to do this? And, it's weird, because it doesn't start till about halfway through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning scene when Groot's drinking out of the fountain, Rocket tells him not to do that. Groot's like, no, I saw you do it. Don't fucking lie to me. I just saw you. That was fine, but it doesn't start until after they have to go get Star-Lord and God, I keep forgetting Gamora. It doesn't start till right then, and otherwise, I don't know, that was a weird thing. But otherwise, no, I loved Groot. Groot was fantastic.
Especially, what was it in the prison scene where the guy comes up, or the big, Rhino Man, who was voiced by Nathan Fallon, by the way.
Oh, cool.
And Groot just takes his fingers and puts it right up his nose. Which was, oh my gosh, this guy was an alien, but it looks painful as hell.
Right?
No. Groot's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Especially at the very end, just takes his arm, impales those guys, and bam, bam, bam.
And he just keeps doing it!
It wasn't just like a 1, 2, 3, it was, I'm gonna make sure you're dead. I am Groot.
I did good, man. He just turns to go, did good, right? That was great.
Another great Groot scene too was, one thing I liked about this movie was the weird timing of scenes, where you're kind of expecting one thing, like at the very end where they board the ship, and they had that kind of beautiful scene where Groot pollinates the room with light.
Yeah.
It was just a kind of odd timing thing, but you wouldn't really expect a beautiful scene like that just before
that was fantastic in 3D.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that was beautiful in 3D. All right, so Groot and then Drax.
Drax the Destroyer.
I mean, I guess I'm glad that they put a wrestler in a movie and he didn't suck. He's not
horrible. He's got great writing for the character. I think he does really good timing with the dry humor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the downside to his character is he's a guy that just lost his family and he wants revenge. And I really didn't feel that impact for his character.
I don't think I'd say that. I mean, he wants that classic vengeance thing, but they don't really go anywhere with it. He wants vengeance, he gets vengeance. That's the end of it.
And then he wanted more with Thanos.
Yeah. It's like, dude, where does it end?
But I did love the dry humor with him, though. I love, they're talking about how it went completely over his head, and he's like, nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are super fast.
That was good. No, that was fine. I guess the one character thing I did like with him was when he fought Ronan, and he just isn't doing any damage whatsoever. Mm-hmm. That was really interesting. So I like that quite a bit.
Also, I think one thing you could easily complain about, the part where he calls the bad guys and tells them where they are, so he actually can get a hold of the main bad guy. But I think it works because they kind of establish that these guys aren't your typical superheroes. They're not the brightest at all, definitely.
Uh-huh.
So definitely wasn't the smartest one, and definitely wasn't the smartest plan, and it didn't work. Almost got them all killed.
Yeah.
But it's not oh, that can't happen. People do make dumb mistakes. So, and apparently aliens.
I'm trying to think, how did blue dude with the arrowy thing realize they were at the giant head?
Um.
Because he gets there just before, like
I think it was
Ronan
because
does.
he knew that he was going to collect the bounty, and the collector was the guy who they were hired by.
Okay, that makes more sense then, I guess. What else?
Gamora.
Oh no, wait, because he interviews the broker. That's right.
That's
I
right.
forgot
Yeah.
About that.
Okay, what do you think about the blue guy, the Mohawk?
I mean, he was kind of intimidating for a while, and then he just got kind of like annoying. I was glad when they finally had him use the fucking arrow.
Right? That was a lot of build up for that, and I think it paid off. But it was like that was like one of the first scenes of the movie. They show like he has that arrow, and you're like, okay, what's that?
Yeah, like he does the whistle with the broker, and then it finally starts showing something.
Mm-hmm. But you had no idea how.
Why doesn't anyone just fucking grab it? That's what I like. It's sitting there on close way. Why would you just go? Okay.
Maybe this, even though it is a different universe, maybe that's not common. Flying arrows is controlled by whistling. They're still like we would be like, is that really happening? Maybe that's for them.
No, just when he puts it on the dude's neck, I'm just like, okay. I mean, I guess I need to see someone do it to show why you can't do that.
Maybe they watch a lot of Arrow, and they just, they know what arrows can do.
That's what he's just like, you have failed this city. Makes it significantly less intimidating. It would have been better if I could whistle there. You have failed this city. What do you do?
No, 1 second. I gotta get the right tone.
Like, that's the other thing. Cause someone else could. No, I guess because the metal thing lights up, so no one else could control it.
I was kind of slightly disappointed that his mohawk wasn't bigger because he was one of the first characters I heard about being in this movie, and I looked it up. I'm like, this character looks awesome. He's got a giant mohawk, and it's just very comic booky. Mm-hmm. Which was they still got them blue, and he had a red mohawk, but it wasn't like a thin mohawk. But
yeah,
it was still. Which kind of brings you to another point. What did you think about the color template of this movie?
It was very, very bright and vibrant, and I liked that about it.
It was kind of like old school sci-fi, which I love. Just
I wouldn't say that at all. I say this is very modern sci-fi with just a lot of color on screen and everything. Mm-hmm. Particularly when they're in space. It's not, black backdrop with white stars. There's shit everywhere when they're in space. There's asteroids. There's always something going on.
Ever since we had movies since Aliens, we've had that dark templates. It just have kind of a horror sense, and I think we're kind of slowly getting back to colorful, bright, or not back to, but it's colorful sci-fi. Which is cool.
It's just very saturated, and I like that about it. Okay, Nova Corps. Oh wait, we haven't talked about Gamora yet.
Yes, she needs her own movie.
You think so?
I think she'd be one of the few ones that, if you had a story telling her how she got taken by Thanos, that would be a cool story. But
that'd be a really dark fucking Marvel movie,
right? Especially with her sister. I think those two together on screen.
It was weird to see Blue Amy without hair.
I'm glad they didn't kill her, by the way.
Yeah. I guess I'd agree with that.
There wasn't much with her, but I think what they had with her was...
Well, I mean, there's your sequel villain, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. But Gamora, I think... I just love how badass she was, but... Mm-hmm. She, I think the cool thing about her was because she was, an alien.
Yeah.
She wasn't like Black Widow. Is it Black Widow?
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson. Sorry, I lose train of thought when I think about
or
her.
Or Lucy, whatever.
Lucy, whatever. Boobs. Boobs. Sorry. I need a moment. But yeah, you don't get that so much the sex appeal where it's you get kicking ass, it's tight spandex, but it's not it's not overpowering the badassness.
Mm-hmm. All right. I didn't have too much to say about her. She worked. She wasn't annoying or anything, which I'm always glad about for a female lead. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. She worked for me. She was fun. All right. So the other thing I wanted to get into was Nova Corps, and this is the last thing on my list of complaints. Like I said earlier, dumbest fucking defensive weapon of all time, and that all you have to do is take out the middle of it. I don't think they understand the purpose of a net, which is that it drapes all over you, and cutting one little piece of it, or one section of it, doesn't do any good.
It could be, too, like that this was probably never tested on something this huge of a ship.
I guess. I don't know.
They probably have done it before and it's worked plenty of times, but...
I suppose it just would have made more sense for the Nova Corps to be using, like, their fighters to, like, stop shit from happening.
Right?
As opposed to just, let's line up!
Kind of surprised that, and not only did they do that, it was, like, their whole defense.
Yeah, that's all they did.
So,
that is all, they show up, shoot a couple things, and then let's lock up! And that's it!
Alright.
Let's hold arms, guys!
Alright, let's do this! And then let's act like we're really stressing when the thing's crushing down on us. Like, ah! And I'm like, I gotta be screaming, but it seemed like there was just a lot of, like, physical work going on.
Yeah, I mean, really, I don't know. Nova Corps just kind of fell flat for me, I guess.
I'm getting a Charlie horse.
Oh, go ahead, stand up. I don't think this has ever happened in an episode of Geeky
Wow. I was stressing too much about the shield.
Did you get a podcast-related injury?
Oh my god! I think I'm good now. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Podcasting is a very dangerous and grueling sport, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I thought I was like a cheetah where I don't have to stretch. I can just be limber.
Hopefully NBC doesn't make a documentary about us called Podcast of Denial. Okay, sorry, I need a second. First Milan gets robbed, then Bobby gets physically injured.
Wow.
Okay, no, Nova Corps, I mean, like, another thing that I guess kind of annoyed me, not specifically about Nova Corps, like, John C. Reilly was actually pretty funny. I liked his whole thing about, and he said, and I'm quoting him directly here, that he was not 100% a dick. Like, that was funny, and then it's like, I don't think anyone could be 100% a dick, ma'am. That was funny.
Especially when the Nova Corps, they come for the help, and they're like, "You got my dick call!"
that was good.
There was a lot of, like, one line, like, this movie is very quotable. That's what I love about it.
Okay, so, Nova Corps, like, that wasn't particularly, exciting one way or another. I thought, like, once again, stupidest weapon of all time. You would have been better off just fucking doing dive bomb runs on the goddamn ship. Which, cool ship. I like nothing else like that.
Right?
Alright, so, then the other thing, kind of sort of about Nova Corps, but I guess this isn't really the movie's fault. They call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy? What a bunch of a-holes! What happened to that scene?
Right? And, like, Drax was in that in the trailer, too.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in that scene, like, maybe it was just one of those, like, here's for the trailer.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm like, I was really interested to see where that came from, and it doesn't show up until fucking Ronan says it. And I was pretty disappointed by that, actually.
Kind of an interesting way to get your team name by the bad guy, but...
Yeah.
Meh.
I don't know, I guess the way he said it sounds like they'd been saying it throughout the whole movie, though, doesn't it?
Right.
I guess I'll chalk it up to deleted scene. That's all I can really say.
At least it wasn't as bad as, like, was it Wolverine Origins, where Deadpool got his name, just like, he's Weapon X, Deadpool.
He's Weapon 11. Code name, the Deadpool.
Wait, that makes no sense. Deadpool, like, there's no context. You just, that sounds cool. In the comics...
What gave you that idea? It's just a really cool name.
You're taking a Deadpool and... I'm like, that would sound cool for a bad guy. Let's do that. Seriously, I think that's probably one of the worst. No one ever, notices that part of that movie, but that's a pretty bad,
name drop.
Selection. Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else about Guardians you wanted to get into?
It made me kind of confused about my sexuality and how I just want to paint girls different colors now, but that's nothing to do with...
Well, this is an entirely different video subject now, isn't it?
We might want to do that another day on my channel.
Okay, then.
Yeah, there was green chicks in this, there were pink chicks, there were orange chicks, there were blue chicks. There were half blue, half silver,
Well, I have good news for you, Bobby.
What?
You're definitely not a racist.
Well, that's good to know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that'll about wrap it up.
On that awkward note,
Let's go ahead and do a score. I will give this movie 3.5 mechanical legs that we don't need out of 5.
I will give this movie 5 rainbow nipples out of 5.
What nipples?
Rainbow nipples. Nipples. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Because
Because
all
they're
right.
just different colors. I mean,
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, just to keep it awkward, keep the train going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. So thank you for listening. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher,
And I'm Batman.
and we are your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things.